I spent 30 days building the first playable version of my dream game. But just a month ago, this was all I had. And somehow, it turned into this. And stick around till the end to see how this code is held together by literal duct tape and prayers. I spent the first week completely revamping the player's movement. And by revamping, I mean once I got my totally original movement done, I decided to fix all the bugs that my amazing testers found.
I like pizza.
I made a list and got to work. And when I say got to work, I mean I played Cuphead for 7 hours. No! Eventually, I got the player movement down. Next, I decided to make all the items I needed to build puzzles. So, I got to work. And when I say got to work, I mean I spent this week building every puzzle mechanic. I made 6 of them, so let's speed run through. Doors. You walk through them. I'm basically an architect. Pressure pads. You put a box on it and something happens. Thrilling. Boxes. You push them onto pressure pads. I'm beginning to detect a theme. Tines buttons. Step on them and they activate for a few seconds, then shut off. Basically a pressure pad but with commitment issues. Magnetic boxes. They're attracted to magnetism. I named that one after spending 0.5 seconds using all 2 of my brain cells. And finally, player-only gates. Kinda like the Emancipation Girl from Portal. Am I too old for that? Now that I had all the mechanics to make puzzles, I decided to become very productive on the levels. Allegedly. The next week, I started working on the levels. And remember the friction mechanic from the prototype that would slide you across the level? Yeah, well, it's gone now. The reason for this was that I could only come up with one puzzle idea for it, and that one puzzle idea kinda sucked. But that's not important. The important thing was that I made 9 levels. Each level slowly introduces a new mechanic, and the last 2 levels combine everything you've learned so far. To make this easier, I made a tile map and tile map rules to automatically fill the edges. But right now, I had no idea if the levels were actually good. So I got some unpaid labor in the form of my mom to playtest for me.
How do I move?
You use the arrow keys.
What's that yellow thing over there? Does it kill me?
It's a button. You have to step on it, Mom.
Who is Mom?
For a brief moment, I thought I really want to play Cuphead. Then I waved it away. I had a game to make. To fix the mass confusion on the levels, I created some signs with small hints so the player could actually understand what was going on. And once that was done, it was time for the end game. Week 4, final week. I had 7 days left to finish everything. Main menu, end screen, music, sound effects, and somehow getting the whole thing playable online. No pressure, just the entire game still not being finished. I started with the main menu since I figured that would be easiest. But there's a small problem. I don't know how to make a menu. And by following a tutorial from the Unity god himself, Brackies, I had a working main menu. Next, I made the end screen, which was basically the same thing, so... Finally, the music. Now, the last time I made any music at all was the trumpet in 7th grade band class. So, I'm not exactly Tchaikovsky level, but I still think I can do a pretty good job. After about 30 seconds of intense research, I found a website called beatbox.co. And within 20 minutes, I made a soundtrack that is, unbiased opinion here, very Grammy worthy. Okay, yeah, that's enough of that. I added it to the game and everything should be done now.
But what about the sound effects?
What sound effects? Yeah, I didn't have time to add the sound effects. Sorry. I exported the game and uploaded it to itch.io. You can play it with just a keyboard right in your browser, so go check it out. The link is in the description. So, that's it. That's how I managed to make an entire game in 1 month. If you enjoyed it, like the video and subscribe because at 1,000 subscribers, I'll reveal my secret sauce for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Oh, and comment down below any ideas for the name of this game. I've just been calling it Gravity MVP and I feel like it deserves better. And now you have 2 choices. If you want to jump into more science and space madness, click here to see what happens when you try to jump on Pluto. And if you want to see how this disaster actually functions, stick around because we are diving into the code right now. First up is the player controller. This thing handles movement, jumping, and making sure the player doesn't fall into the infinite void. The movement itself is incredibly advanced. By advanced, I mean the second you let go of movement key, your speed instantly becomes 0. No momentum, no acceleration, just stop. I could have spent hours tuning realistic movement, or I could just do this. Jumping was surprisingly annoying. Since gravity can flip, the game has to check which way gravity is pointing before every jump. So, if you're on the ceiling, the jump gets flipped too. It also deletes all your falling speed before jumping, so your previous momentum doesn't turn your jump into a sad little hop. Speaking of flipping gravity, that's what the C and V keys do. C flips the player's gravity and rotates the sprite upside down. Then I force Unity's physics engine to wake up so it realizes the player is suddenly standing on the ceiling instead of trying to phase through it. V flips every gravity-enabled object in the level instead, and because I wrote this at 2 AM, it checks every object. For every object. Is that efficient? Absolutely not. Does it work? Yes, and say it with me. If it works, then that's all that really matters. Yeah. Z turns on magnetism. Now, instead of remembering where the player is, like a normal piece of code, every magnetic object searches the scene to find them. Every frame. Computer scientists everywhere are crying. I also had to stop the boxes from accelerating into orbit, so I added the speed cap that basically tells the game, no, calm down. The doors are a little smarter. They constantly check pressure plates and timed buttons to decide whether they should open or close. Pressure pads even keep track of how many things are sitting on them, so if you step off but leave a box behind, the door stays open instead of having an existential crisis. Is the code repetitive? Yes. Is there probably a better way to write half of it? Also yes. But does it all come together to create 9 fully playables that run right in your browser? Heck yes. And remember, if it works, that's all that really matters.